Many people believe that bulls charge at the color red. They think red makes bulls angry. This is a common misunderstanding. The truth is, bulls don't see red the way humans do. Their eyes are different. Bulls are colorblind to red and green. So why do bulls react so strongly in bullfights? It's not the color of the cape that upsets them. The real reason is the movement of the cape and the matador's actions. This is what triggers their instinct to charge. Bullfighting is a traditional spectacle in some cultures. A matador confronts a bull in an arena. The matador often holds a red cape, called a muleta. The matador waves the muleta to get the bull's attention. The bright color might help with focusing, but it's the movement that matters most. The bull sees the cape moving and interprets it as a threat. They charge at the movement, not the color itself. The matador uses skill and timing to dodge the bull's charges. The red cape is part of the tradition in drama, but it's not the source of the bull's aggression. Bulls have dichromatic vision. This means they only see two main colors. Humans have trichromatic vision. We see a wider range of colors. Animals perceive colors differently. Dogs, for example, see fewer colors than humans but more than bulls. Some animals, like bees, can see ultraviolet light. This is invisible to humans. Color vision varies widely in the animal kingdom. Understanding how animals see helps us understand their behavior. In the case of bulls, it's clear that color is not the primary factor in their reactions. So what really triggers a bull's aggression? It's not the color red, but rather a combination of factors. Movement is a major trigger. Bulls are prey animals. Their instinct is to charge at anything that seems threatening. The matador's taunting movements and the waving cape provoke this instinct. The bull feels threatened and reacts defensively. Noise and unfamiliar surroundings also play a role. The cheering crowd and the confined space of the arena contribute to the bull's stress and agitation. Essentially, anything that the bull perceives as a threat can trigger a charge. The color red is merely a misconception. Gap 3S. Bullfighting is a tradition with deep historical roots and cultural significance. It dates back to ancient civilizations, with evidence of bull worship and rituals in Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Crete. However, modern bullfighting as we know it began in Spain in the 12th century. Initially, it was a sport for the nobility, performed on horseback. Over time, it evolved into the foot-based spectacle we see today, with matadors showcasing their skills in the arena. Gap 2S. Spain is the epicenter of bullfighting, but the practice has spread to other countries, each adding its unique twist. In Portugal, for instance, the bull is not killed in the ring. Instead, the focus is on the skill of the horsemen and the bravery of the forcados who wrestle the bull to the ground by hand. In Mexico, bullfighting has a rich history, blending Spanish traditions with local customs. Other countries like France, Colombia, and Peru also have their own variations, reflecting their cultural identities. Gap 2S. Despite its cultural significance, bullfighting is a controversial practice. Supporters view it as an art form, a dance between man and beast, steeped in tradition and honor. Critics, however, argue that it is inhumane and call for its abolition. This ongoing debate highlights the complex relationship between cultural heritage and modern values. Gap 2S. Understanding the history and variations of bullfighting helps us appreciate its cultural context. It's a tradition that has evolved over centuries, reflecting the societies that practice it. Whether one sees it as an art or an anachronism, bullfighting remains a significant cultural phenomenon. Gap 3S. To truly understand why bulls charge at the matador's cape, we need to delve into their anatomy and physiology. Bulls, like many other animals, have a unique vision system. They possess dichromatic vision, meaning they primarily see two colors, blue and yellow. This makes them colorblind to red and green, unlike humans who have trichromatic vision and can see a full spectrum of colors. Gap 2S. The bull's eyes are positioned on the sides of its head, giving it a wide field of view but less depth perception. This placement allows bulls to detect movements from nearly all directions, which is crucial for spotting predators in the wild. However, it also means that bulls have a blind spot directly in front of their noses, making them rely heavily on movement and peripheral vision to navigate their surroundings. GAP2S. Studies have shown that bulls are particularly sensitive to motion. One such study conducted by the University of California found that bulls react more aggressively to rapid movements rather than specific colors. Researchers used various colored capes and observed that the bulls charged based on the cape's motion, not its hue. GAP2S. Comparing bulls to other animals, we find that many prey species share similar vision traits. For example, horses also have dichromatic vision and wide-set eyes for detecting predators. On the other hand, predators like cats have forward-facing eyes for better depth perception and trichromatic vision to distinguish a broader range of colors. GAP2S. Understanding the anatomy and physiology of bulls not only debunks the myth of their hatred for red, but also highlights the fascinating adaptations these animals have developed for survival. Their vision, combined with their powerful build and heightened sensitivity to movement, makes them formidable creatures in both the wild and the bull ring. GAP3S. By exploring the science behind bull behavior, we gain a deeper appreciation for these animals and the complexities of their interactions with humans. GAP3S. As we delve deeper into the world of bullfighting, it's impossible to ignore the ethical considerations that surround this controversial practice. Bullfighting, or corrida de toros, has been a part of Spanish and Latin American culture for centuries, but it has also been the subject of intense debate. GAP2S. On one side of the argument, animal rights activists strongly condemn bullfighting, viewing it as a cruel and inhumane practice. Organizations like PETA and the Humane Society argue that the sport inflicts unnecessary suffering on the bull. They highlight the physical and psychological stress the animals endure, from being taunted and provoked to ultimately facing a painful death in the arena. GAP2S. Moreover, studies have shown that bulls experience high levels of cortisol, a stress hormone, during bullfights. Animal rights advocates believe that no cultural tradition justifies such treatment, and they call for the complete abolition of the practice. GAP2S. On the other hand, proponents of bullfighting, including many bullfighters and cultural historians, argue that it is an essential part of their heritage. They see bullfighting as an art form that requires skill, bravery, and a deep understanding of the animal. Supporters claim that the bull is treated with respect and honor, and that the event is a celebration of its strength and spirit. GAP2S. Cultural historians point out that bullfighting has deep roots in Spanish and Latin American societies, often linked to religious and festive traditions. They argue that banning bullfighting would be an erasure of cultural identity and history. GAP2S. Some also argue for a middle ground, suggesting reforms to make bullfighting more humane. These proposals include measures to reduce the suffering of the bulls, such as using less harmful weapons or ensuring quicker deaths. However, these suggestions are met with skepticism from both sides, with activists seeing them as insufficient and traditionalists viewing them as a dilution of the sport. GAP2S. The ethical debate over bullfighting is complex and multifaceted, touching on issues of animal welfare, cultural preservation, and human entertainment. It raises important questions about how we balance tradition with modern values, and how we treat the animals with whom we share our world. GAP3S. As we continue to explore the world of bullfighting, it's crucial to consider these ethical perspectives and to engage in thoughtful, respectful dialogue about the future of this ancient practice. GAP3S. As societies evolve, so do their traditions. In recent years, there has been a growing interest in modern alternatives to traditional bullfighting that offer entertainment without harming the animals. One such alternative is rodeos, popular in countries like the United States, Canada, and Australia. Rodeos feature events such as bull riding, where the goal is to stay mounted on a bucking bull for as long as possible. While still controversial, rodeos generally focus on the skill and bravery of the rider rather than inflicting harm on the bull. GAP2S. Another popular event is the Running of the Bulls, most famously held during the San Fermin festival in Pamplona, Spain. In this event, participants run through the streets alongside bulls. While not entirely risk-free, the bulls are not killed and are later used in traditional bullfights. However, some advocates argue for completely non-lethal events, where bulls are only displayed or participate in non-violent activities. GAP2S. There are also innovative forms of entertainment that involve bulls but ensure their safety and well-being. For example, some festivals now include mock bullfighting, where performers use props and costumes to simulate the event without causing harm to the animals. These performances often focus on the artistry and skill involved in bullfighting, offering a humane alternative that still celebrates cultural heritage. GAP2S. Efforts to reform or ban bullfighting entirely have gained momentum in various countries. In Spain, regions like Catalonia and the Canary Islands have passed laws prohibiting traditional bullfighting. Similarly, countries such as Argentina and Uruguay have implemented strict regulations or outright bans on the practice. These legislative efforts reflect a growing awareness of animal welfare and a shift towards more humane forms of entertainment. GAP2S. As we move forward, it is essential to explore and embrace these modern alternatives. They offer a way to preserve cultural traditions while respecting the rights and well-being of animals. By finding a balance between heritage and humane treatment, we can create a future where both humans and animals thrive. GAP3S. In conclusion, the evolution of bull-related events demonstrates our capacity for change and innovation. By considering and adopting these alternatives, we honor our past while paving the way for a more compassionate future. GAP3S. Throughout this video, we've explored a variety of aspects related to bulls and bullfighting. We began by debunking the age-old myth that bulls hate the color red. As we've learned, bulls are colorblind to red and green, and it is the movement of the matador's cape that incites their charge, not the color itself. GAP2S. We then delved into the cultural significance of bullfighting, its historical roots, and the anatomy and physiology of bulls. This understanding underscores that the true triggers for a bull's aggression are movement, perceived threats, and unfamiliar environments. GAP2S. Additionally, we've discussed the ethical implications of bullfighting and examined modern alternatives that offer humane ways to honor cultural traditions without causing harm to animals. From rodeos to mock bullfighting, these alternatives reflect a growing awareness of animal welfare and a shift towards more compassionate forms of entertainment. GAP3S. The key takeaway here is that by educating ourselves and questioning common misconceptions, we can foster a deeper appreciation for animals and their behavior. Understanding that bulls do not inherently hate the color red, but rather respond to movement and threats, can help us see the world from their perspective. GAP2S. We encourage you to continue learning about animal behavior and to challenge widely held beliefs. By doing so, we can contribute to a more informed and compassionate society. Thank you for watching, and let's work together to create a future where both humans and animals thrive. GAP3S. The belief that bulls hate red is a myth. Bulls are colorblind to red and green. They charge at the movement of the cape, not the color itself. Like many animals, bulls have different color perception than humans. Understanding this helps us see the world from their perspective. The real triggers for a bull's aggression are movement, perceived threats, and unfamiliar environments. It's important to debunk these misconceptions and appreciate animals for their true nature.